having crawled through the mire of the multiverse. Here we are in the presence of the Marvelous Nerdcast. Hosts, as always, Ziggy and Emily.
Oh, here we go. Hello and welcome, everybody, to another episode. What?
I was like, oh god, I can't hear you.
Oh yeah. Welcome to another episode of the Marvelous Nerdcast. I'm Ziggy. I'm here with my lovely bride and wife, soulmate, partner, best friend, Emily.
Hello.
Welcome. How are you? You feeling okay today?
I'm feeling fine. I just didn't sleep very good.
So we're gonna cover a good bit today. It just depends how fast we get through it. We're gonna go over Loki season finale, which we were ripping real hard to.
Yes.
The boners were out. Someone probably should have called the police on us. As well as we had a little date night last night.
Sure did.
And we went and saw the Marvels, which I want to say in the past 2 years, maybe year and a half, that was the first Marvel movie we've gone to on opening weekend.
Mm-hmm.
In forever.
It's been a while, yeah. I mean, the entire time I was pregnant with Layla, I didn't feel good, so I didn't really want to go anywhere.
Right.
So it's been a long time.
So yeah, that's what we're gonna review today. So we just wanna once again welcome you to the Marvelous Nerdcast. So let's start with Loki season finale. Do you want to just backtrack to the opening?
The last time we recorded, we discussed the first episode. We talked about potentially hearing Miss Minutes in that recording, talking to King or He Who Remains or whatever. We discussed the Hunters, the general lady that's played by Kate Dickey. We discussed just Loki being a god and how it's difficult to remember that he's a god sometimes.
Right.
But I think overall, the first 4 or so episodes were pretty slow. What do you think?
I don't know if they were slow. I mean, based off of what Ravy and Charlie and DK were saying, and just our friends in general were saying that it was kind of slow and they were kind of losing interest.
Mm-hmm.
But I didn't feel like it was slow. I just felt like it was telling the story. It took the time to build on the story that they were trying to tell us.
Right, yeah. But I kind of feel specifically the general that's played by Kate Dickey, that lady from Game of Thrones.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like her role was kind of pointless. It ended up being where the only point of her role was, and not just her, but the rest of the hunters.
Mm-hmm.
The whole point was that they died in a way to make you hate Renslayer. So, they kind of redeemed themselves in the end for not going with her and doing what she wanted to do.
Right.
and then she killed him. She's like, her and Miss Minute squished them.
I mean,
Which was a brutal scene, don't get me wrong, but like before that, I feel like their purpose, like it kind of undid everything that they had done trying to save the timeline. You know what I mean?
yeah. What are your thoughts on Renslayer?
I don't know.
Right? She's the odd one out in this show, right?
Yeah.
Like I thought they were at the beginning. I thought they were building up on her being like the villain of the show.
Yeah.
But it turned to like questioning like what's the point?
Yeah, what is her purpose? Yeah. I mean, she ended up excuse me. She ended up at the end of time. Or the void, or whatever they call it when you get pruned. And like, I mean, this is kind of jumping ahead, but you see that she's essentially sitting on the same medallion that Mobius is standing on in the finale. And that makes you question, like, is the void now like is there like what happened for the TVA? Because essentially the floor of the TVA is there at the void now.
Right.
So that's a good question. And is it Kang that shows up, or is it that crazy monster from season 1 that's there? Like, you can't really tell. So,
I'm gonna pull
are you
her.
having issues?
No, I'm just gonna pull her up real quick, just so people can see.
Oh,
Because I don't think, because what did you say? That she was looking at Loki, or
No, I thought she was looking at, because it's purple. It made me
Right.
think of Kang. Like, it made me think of like the aura around Kang and like the comic books, or that you would picture in the comic books.
right? I could have sworn it could have been like the. Oh wait, that's not what I wanted. Whoopsies.
I think the purpose is to make you think that it could be that monster, but I don't think that's what it is.
What makes you think it's not?
Well, first of all, because it has to move forward. Like, the story's got to go somewhere. It's going to connect somehow, you know? Like, even the standalone WandaVision connected to other stories. So, and like Miss Marvel connected to another story. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
they're not just gonna have it end. And I think that was their way of saying, hey, there's something else out there. Like, something else is coming. Whether it's in another season of Loki or not is yet to be determined, but I think that... Excuse me, I'm so sorry.
That's gonna happen a lot today, guys. She's dealing with a, what would you call it? Like a throat cold?
I don't know. It might be like RSV or something. I don't know.
That's not good.
I mean, it's fine.
Just fixing this real quick. You can keep talking.
I was just thinking about what else it could have been. I mean, I think that the way that they're going, they're trying to make Kang the big bad, and she's like known for being his second hand, right? So like, I think that would make sense for him to like come and get her from there, you know?
Right.
Also, speaking of Kang's women, or He Who Remains women, I think Miss Minutes really freaked me out. I did not like the episode where she's like professing her love
Yeah, that was weird, right?
and then like attached herself to a mannequin. That was weird. That was so weird. Totally creeped me out.
I thought it was going the route of her showing like her love for him, and then like I thought it was gonna go a route to where like he made a body for her to go in. That's where I thought the show was going.
Gotcha. Yeah, that was so weird.
Because
I did not like that at
the
all.
last we saw of her was like her getting shut down, and then she looked at Renslayer and said, "You'll never be him," or something like that. "You'll never be good as him." Remember that? Like she was glitching off, and then she's like, "I have something to tell you," and it's like, "You'll never be him." You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I was just like, maybe she finds a way to boot back up into a body that we don't know about.
Yeah, that would have been an interesting way to go. I feel like that's totally creepy and I don't like it, but it would have been interesting. But we saw at the end that she was just herself. So.
Yeah.
And like, I guess they rebooted her or something. I don't know if I trust that, but.
So this is, I'm gonna pull it up on my end so they can see it on the YouTube. Oh gosh, it's kind of tiny. Can we? This is the monster that was in the first season that I think Renslayer was looking at. This is what did they call it?
I don't remember.
I don't remember either. But anyway, this is who I thought she was looking at because it was a giant purple cloud.
No, it's not the same. It's different.
I mean, this is a better resolution of it. But, I mean, you could kind of see how I think that, right?
Yeah, I could see how you would think that. I don't know, though. I still think it could be Kang, but I think the purpose of, like, making it vague like that is that they can keep you guessing, wanting more,
Right,
you know?
100%.
The fighting back and forth with, Loki and Sylvie, that made me really uncomfortable. I didn't like that because I was like one of the few people that thought, oh, they would be cute together. Like I was totally shipping them. But she was just, I feel like the writers heard the audience and they were like, okay, most people don't like this because it's essentially Loki loving himself. And they just put the kibosh on it, you know?
Yeah, I mean, first of all, I really wanted this version of Sylvie in this season to just go away because of that fucking disgusting mullet that she had. I hated her hairstyle so much that the second she came on screen in her look from season 1, I was like, yes, yes, please, more of this.
She was just upset. She was like so upset with Loki for trying to stop her. But like, I don't know, I don't think that was a good enough reason, like, make them not like each other. So the fighting back and forth was like awkward to me and it made me feel uncomfortable. So yeah, I wasn't a fan of that, but I mean, it was something that I could easily overlook because like I said, the first few episodes, it was just a lot of that, you know, him trying to do the best thing and her being, I mean, she even said she was being selfish, you know, like, because she had never had that chance before.
Right.
I really liked getting to see who everybody was before. That was cool. Like what they were on their timeline.
Their lives before they got ripped out. Yeah, that was a really cool sequence.
Yeah.
And the fact that like, what's her butt was a doctor,
B-15.
B-15. And then we got to see Mobius as I keep saying Moby because that's what we name our cat, and I just say Moby.
Well, Loki called him Moby at one point.
Oh yeah, he did, didn't he?
Mm-hmm.
But I just loved how we saw how he was trying to be like the best father he could be, as well as the best jet ski salesman that he could be.
Yeah. And it was obviously like a backstory there that they didn't go into, but like he lost his wife and he had 2 jet skis, so he obviously liked doing that with his wife.
Mm-hmm.
I'm assuming that she died, but she could have just left.
100%, yeah.
And he was a single dad. That was kind of sad. But I like knowing that his name was Don, because now we can call our cat Don.
Yeah. What was your overall thoughts on the time slip segment?
Like from the beginning or
just
afterwards?
In general, because like essentially he spent the whole season trying to learn to perfect it.
Yeah.
And then
I mean, I thought that was interesting. It was weird because I thought that the whole point of the sending that first thing into the loom,
mm-hmm.
I thought the whole point of that was to like make the time slipping stop. You know?
Right. But when I guess it reactivated once oops, sorry. I messed up there. Hold on. Wait a minute. Boop. Okay. I think when the loom exploded, it kind of reset that, because it came back the second he went through like the explosion, right?
I don't know. That's a good question. Because from what I understood, they had taken away all of his other variants,
Mm-hmm.
so he couldn't slip anymore.
Right.
But maybe it was all of his variants within the TVA. I'm not really sure. I don't know. But so, like I said, when first episode came out, I was like, oh, it's really like he got into that wreck on the back of that truck or whatever, and he fell like a lot, like really far. And I was like, oh my gosh, sometimes I forget he's not just a guy. He's a god.
Mm-hmm.
And like by the end of it, you're like, yeah, why has he not been using this whole time? You know what I mean? Like, he's so strong.
Like, yeah, his abilities and stuff, yeah.
Yeah, he has amazing abilities. He's strong. I mean, I know the TVA had like a dampener or whatever on magical abilities.
Oh god,
but
that moment was so funny when they were like,
yeah.
when they were trying to reboot Miss Minutes, and they were like, oh well, we have to turn the dampener off. And he's like, well, what does that do? Well, it'll let all magic come back to the TVA. And they're like, turn it off.
Yeah, I was like, dang, I kind of wish we could have gotten more of that. Like, yeah, it was crazy. Like when he slips and goes back to when he was first caught.
Mm-hmm.
So like he spends essentially several centuries trying to like learn physics and take care of everyone and save everybody, and he tried every single way that he could think of to take care of everyone, and it just wasn't enough, right? So he goes back to Moby, and he finds out that Renslayer was Mobius's partner, and Mobius couldn't kill the kid that was a variant.
Mm-hmm.
Not kill, prune the child that was a variant, and I thought that was interesting because it turns out that he has 2 sons. And it almost made me wonder if like a part of him knew the whole time that he was a father, you know? Because he knew that he liked jet skis.
Right.
Like, he's always known that he liked jet skis. So, like, the fact he couldn't kill and he had to become an analyst instead, you know? I thought that was interesting. It also makes me wonder how He Who Remains chose the people to become the analysts and the hunters. And, like, did they just go and pluck them out of the timeline and bring them back? Like, how does that work?
Yeah, that's a good question. I don't know. That is a interesting question. Because it's
And
like...
in that...
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, you go.
No, I was just going to move on to something else.
Oh, okay. I mean, I was just finding it funny. Oh, no. Well, that sucks. I was just finding it funny that they chose jet skis to be a thing. Like, out of all things that are out there, like, he could have been like a car salesman. You know, could have sold like high value private jets, but they chose jet skis.
It was just his thing, you know?
Yeah.
But in that same conversation, like, he's gone back, he time slips back to when he was first caught by the TVA. So him and Mobius don't have an established
Friendship.
relationship.
Yeah.
But Mobius still helps him figure out, like, what's best. Like, the hardest thing. It's like he talks about how Renslayer does the harder thing because it's what's right to do in that moment. But I thought it was interesting that Mobius still helped him, and like they shook hands and everything, despite like Mobius not having that background yet. You know?
Right. I think it shows how strong their friendship is, that it kind of bled through.
Yeah.
Like, Mobius understood what Loki was doing that fast without having to experience like how he got to that point, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I thought that was a really cool thing, and then they shook hands.
Yeah.
Like,
I like that a lot.
like
That was
they
essentially
understood.
like him getting to say goodbye, you know?
yeah.
And I mean, then we get the end,
Oh my god.
and
That ending. Holy shit.
He-
When we have seen Loki in doing his transformations to his green and gold shiny, like, pristine look, and we see his horns and we're like, man, those horns are ridiculous. And but man, the shit that happened in the ending of this show, his transformation was so fucking epic. Like, it was just, I'm pretty sure your jaw was open the whole fucking time.
yeah, my jaw dropped. I was like, because he starts walking across there, and like, they did it over and over and over again with Victor Timely, and he had to have this huge suit on, you know, and Mobius went in there and he also had to have this huge suit on, and Loki didn't need that. I was like, that just shows how strong he is. Like, he is a literal god. He doesn't need anything. He doesn't need protection. And like, as his clothes are coming away,
He's grabbing like the time strands, like as he's taking each step, he's just grabbing shit and just.
well, first he breaks the loom apart,
Yeah.
and that's like this huge thing, and he just like rips it apart with his bare strength, you know.
Oh yeah.
And then it exploded, and it opened up, and everything starts dying, and then he starts reviving all of space-time.
Which is crazy.
Yeah. And like as his clothes are coming off from the radiation, it's not bothering him, you know, but his clothes are disintegrating, but he's using his power to create his look, his robes or whatever.
Right.
And just was telling you about it yesterday when we watched it, but like typically Loki would be like slicked back hair, you know. He would have like the leather outfit or whatever, very sleek. And now he has on like flowing robes. He's gone from like this person that wants to be a villain, and he wants it to be perfect and specific. Everything has a purpose and a place, to being a totally different person, and it's shown in his wardrobe. It's almost like a monk, you know, like taking care of people that he loves is the purpose behind his life. And I just love that. I love that so much. I love that whole outfit, that whole look. His horns. Everything.
Oh my god, his horns looked so good. And then the profile shot that took place, where he looked back at him.
It was like as soon as they got as big as he wanted them, he turned back around and looked back, and yeah, it was just perfect. And I was like, oh my gosh, Thor and Odin and Frigga would be so proud of him.
Pretty sure there's this really cool picture here. Where was it? Oh yeah, this one here.
But that was his glorious purpose. And also, did you see they have officially renamed him? He's no longer the Lord of Chaos or the God of Chaos. He's the God of Stories.
This photo here, it's kind of fuzzy, but like it looks cool. It's got, because it's like he's thinking of his father in this moment, kind of thing. I thought it was a cool little photo that was put together. Can you see that?
Did you hear what I said?
Which part?
Any of it? I know you say that you do, but sometimes you don't.
Oh, just say what you said again. I'll make sure I said, oh yeah, I heard that.
I was saying that his father and everybody would be so proud of him.
Yeah.
And then I said that, God damn it. You distracted me.
I tend to do that. What are you looking at?
I'm looking at you because I'm trying to remember what I was saying.
You were saying how proud like his father and his mom and Thor were, like to see like where he made, like how, like where he's at and how he got there.
And fulfilling his glorious purpose.
Yeah.
There was something else. Obviously, it's on the recording, so.
It wasn't important if you can't remember.
It was important. Oh, no, I know what it was.
Okay.
He was renamed officially in the Marvel Universe.
Oh,
Have you seen that?
But what is he officially though?
Yes.
Like where do you see it as official, or did Marvel just like tweet out something like?
I'm pretty sure they posted something about it, but he's officially the God of Stories.
I don't feel like that's a good name for him.
It makes me think of The Watcher.
A little bit, yeah. That's interesting.
But I also wonder, like, because he is so powerful, will he be able to just, like, recreate his image in any timeline?
Yeah, we were talking about that, and it's like, I wonder if we do see him again, that he's able to just make copies of himself like he used to, and like go visit Thor or go visit to Mobius in his timeline. Like, I just really hope we see him again. But I mean, also, if we didn't, this would be the perfect ending for Loki.
Yeah, I agree. I have to say, I loved the finale. I think it was one of the best. It was along the lines of like Wanda finding the note from Vision and like totally falling apart at the end of WandaVision.
Also, I'm very wanting to know what Ravi thinks of this and the Marvels.
Yeah. So, about the Marvels.
Switching gears to the Marvels.
So I want to get your rating, A through F.
A through F.
And before that, let's preface this by saying there's a ton of haters out there, and I think they're ridiculous.
Well, they always are.
A through F. What do you think?
I will give it a solid A minus.
An A minus.
Yeah.
I'm gonna just say A in general.
Yeah.
What was your favorite part?
My favorite part?
Yes.
Any scene involving Iman.
Yeah, I knew you would say that because you worked on Miss Marvel.
I mean, I wish I could just talk to her about it, because knowing how nervous she was and not knowing where her character was gonna go.
Yeah.
Like, we've had these conversations, and because I mean, I wish we got closer than we did on Miss Marvel. Like, so I could like message her privately, but
yeah,
I never got that information. But anyways, she was very, very nervous on portraying this character.
Well, she did it perfectly, and I think that
100%.
I think that like when people see her being like super excited and like, oh my god, it's Captain Marvel kind of thing, that's really her.
100%.
Like, you have to know that that's really how she is about this whole thing.
And the best thing is, I want to say, she would take her freakouts and go, oh, this is how Kamala would do it. This is exactly how it should be done. Like, this is how she would freak out seeing Kevin Feige for the first time. Because, man, when she saw Kevin Feige for the first time, goddamn, she lost her mind. Even though it was through, like, a voice message, FaceTime thing or whatever.
That's funny.
And I think that really bled through for like her excitement to see Captain Marvel, because like when there's a moment where, if you guys don't know the premise, but like there is an artifact that causes all the people that we know of that have light abilities, light what would you say, light source abilities, like powers.
Yeah. Light energy.
It makes them kind of wig out, and whoever's using light at the same time, they kind of Freaky Friday change places. And there was a fight to where like they're changing places, and they're like, I don't know what's going on. And then it ends, and then Iman comes down the stairs, and her living room is like kind of trashed, and her parents are like, oh yeah, Captain Marvel was just coming down, and we know you're doing something with her, and she's like, wait, what? Captain Marvel was in my house.
And she was like, oh my god.
She's like, oh my god, it's happening!
That was really good.
And you could just see her real personality coming out in those moments, and I love it so much.
What was your least favorite part?
My least favorite? I feel like the villain.
Oh yeah.
I feel like she was kind of cheaply done. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like, all she...
You know that's Tom Hiddleston's wife.
Yes, you told me this, and I didn't know that.
Yep. They have a baby together.
Oh, they have a baby together. I didn't know that.
Okay, so I gave it an A. My favorite part was Kamala bringing everyone together. I feel like she was really the glue of the whole movie.
Yeah.
Her and Sam Jackson too. Like, and they did a really great job together.
Mm-hmm.
My least favorite part was the singing planet.
Oh yeah, that was weird, right?
Yeah, I didn't like that at all. But I am not a fan of musicals, so it was just weird.
Yeah, that part was weird.
But it might be something that is from the comic books. That
it 100% is. Like,
so, you know, I mean, like, us seeing it in a movie versus reading it in a comic book is just different, you know? So, like...
But that scene did reveal, like, a costume that you were like, damn, I love that dress.
Yes, I loved that dress. That was so good. I love that so much. So, let's see. Hang on a second. So, I think I told you this, as you know. My favorite, you can see, well, you probably can't see it on here because you've got that thing up, but my favorite hero has always been Carol Danvers, and I think my favorite hero is different now. I think that Loki is my favorite. Because it's just like such a badass character. Like the way they've evolved it, you know?
Yeah. I mean, to be fair as well, though, like, he has the most backstory.
That's true. He did an interview, Tom Hiddleston did an interview on The Tonight Show. And he was telling Jimmy that this episode, the finale, was a conclusion of like 14 years of his life, 6 movies that he's done, 2 seasons of a TV show. Like, he was like, I've done this for a very long time, and it's like just like wrapped everything up in a neat little bow, and it was perfect. And I have to agree. But we're not talking about that right now. What are your overall thoughts on the writing for the Marvels?
On the writing for the Marvels?
The plot and the writing in general.
I mean, I felt like it was a good... I felt like it had good intentions. It definitely could have been better. Just because knowing, like, the things that we hear from past movies where, you know, Carol's in the hologram in Avengers, and they're like, oh, let me go save this universe. I won't be available. I'll be back, though. And it's like she's out there saving universes. And then here comes this villain that's just trying to take resources from planets. And she's like, I need help. Like, it almost made it seem like she wasn't as strong as she has been.
I think that was kind of the point, though, like, because she's the strongest Avenger, and it's like, she made a mistake, like, not made a mistake, they were being controlled by an AI, So she took it out. But then the planet started dying, and like all of their natural resources were going away, and there was like a civil war and all this stuff, and it was all from that moment that she took down the AI. And it was like she did a good thing, and then the planet didn't thrive after that. But that's not her fault. But it still stemmed from something that she did.
Right.
And that really made an impact on her, and they were calling her the Annihilator, and like killing the planet, or saying that she had killed the planet or whatever. And I think that like giving her a title like something like that is really like I mean, it's so opposite of what she usually is. So, and she didn't want her family to know that she had done something like that or been part of something like that. And so she's been trying to make up for it, you know.
Did you think the tension between her and Rambo where it was weird? Did it feel weird to you?
No. It didn't feel weird to me because Carol wasn't there when her mom died, and her mom was Carol's best friend. So it was very much like deserved until Monica realized that, you know, she just didn't want to let them down.
Mm-hmm.
That was the whole thing. Like, she thought that she had destroyed a civilization. She thought it was her fault, and she was like, they're not going to accept me, you know.
Right. I thought it was, I don't know if it was just like maybe being over acted, like over dramatically. I just thought the scenes where she was talking about it to Carol, like I thought it was just weird.
I didn't get that feeling because I thought that it was like an accurate portrayal of like somebody telling, you know, someone that hasn't been around, that should have been around, like that they still love them, kind of thing. Like,
Yeah.
I love you anyway. Like, no matter what, I'm gonna love you. Like, no, it doesn't matter if you annihilated a planet. I still love you.
Aw, babe.
And I mean, she redeemed herself in the end. She brought back their son, you know, like her energy is the energy of a son. So like she was able to reignite their son and they were fine.
Which, by the way, I thought, in my opinion, when it comes to like the struggles that she had in this movie, I feel like igniting a sun is probably the hardest thing she had to do in this movie.
What?
That's how
You
I
think
feel.
so?
Yeah, I mean, she straight up flew into a dead star, reignited it to save the planet.
Well, if you think about it, the star is just a bunch of gas, and essentially the fire went out of it, and all she had to do was fly through it. And her energy ignited it, so it wasn't like she didn't have to do anything. Her energy just ignited the gas that was already there.
Oh, I guess that makes sense.
Like, essentially, they could have sent an atomic bomb into it, and that would have done the same thing. But why do you think people are hating on it? Do you think that it's the all-female cast? Because I think that's what it is. Because, like, they're hating on it before even seeing it.
I feel like it could be because of Brie Larson.
Yeah.
Because she's very into, like, give me all female cast, give me all female directors, producers, like, give me all female everything on this movie. And she's been that way since she first started working in Marvel stuff. Like, it's been talked about. And I want to say...
But nobody knows that except for people that are in film. But like,
no, it's been
you know
it's been in public interviews, like with Chris Hemsworth and stuff like that. He's mentioned it. I think it got to a point to where she was causing a problem to where the point they almost recasted Brie Larson.
Oh, really?
Because it started giving a bad image for them. It's not because of her being all for women. It was just that it got to the point to where she was saying, I'm a woman, I'm in a powerful position now, let me shove it in everybody's faces. And it got to the point to where it started getting unprofessional, I think. And that's where the conversations of like, oh, we're gonna give this role to somebody else, and we're gonna put you in less things now, and blah 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 blah.
I don't think that that's true, though. I don't think they ever thought about doing that.
Oh, they did.
Because-
100% they did.
Well, they still have Gwyneth Paltrow as Pepper Potts, and she's a bitch too. So
Yeah, and see how many big parts that she had in the movie.
yeah, but she doesn't have a big part.
Exactly.
But she never had a big part. The fact that she's in it at all is like amazing to me. She is easily replaceable, easily,
Oh yes.
and Brie Larson is not as easily replaceable.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like, I don't know. I like her as Captain Marvel.
I do too.
And I think that women in places of power should be able to hire all women directors, whatever the fuck they want. They should be able to have that input because they do have that power.
I agree to an extent, because it's not about, and this is a touchy subject for several reasons. But like I've lost jobs because of being a dude.
Mm.
Because of this very reason. Of like,
Yeah.
I want an all-female staff. I want an all-female director, first AD. Yeah, and it's like, okay, cool, but that's not fair to us because I'm just as good or even better worker than these women that you're hiring, which it's not anything against them. It's just because the way I look at it, it's the same thing of like working on like a full black cast in movie, a full Asian movie, people of color. It's just I've got the experience, and if you want to pull this card of like, let's do this all female, let's do this all black, let's do this all Asian folks, like, I work on movies to work my ass off to make a good product. I don't care if you're white, black, female, male. Who gives a shit? As long as you know how to do the best job at your position, who gives a fuck? That's where I stand on that. And that's where it's like, cool, if it's an all-female show, cast, cool, that's awesome. But don't make it everybody's like problem, like, look at me, I'm a woman, I did this with all these other women. Does that make sense?
It does.
Does that make me sound like a douchebag?
No, it makes you sound like a white man.
Oh, see? A douchebag.
No. Like, you're only gonna see the problem from your perspective, which is fine. Like, I don't know, I think that everybody else has the same opinion as you. You know what I mean?
Do they, though?
Like, they're all gonna say that, but they're all gonna say, like, I don't get hired as much because of all of the other people. You know what I'm saying? Like, everybody's gonna say that.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what color or gender they are.
But it's also like, mind you, my resume is easily like 50% like all black shows. Mm-hmm. So it's like,
I mean, yeah, but you get in there and you prove yourself, and they're like, okay. Or they see you on other stuff. That's how you get. I mean, that's essentially how anybody has to get hired on these things.
But like, what I meant by that was, it gets to the point where it's like they do this because of like a tax credit that they're getting, because it all comes down to money. 100%. That's why they pull these, like, let me do this like feminine movie with all women, and they're like, oh, you did this with all women, here's this tax credit. or some sort of perk that they would do because they did it this way. But then it'll turn into like an all, like for instance, when I did Black Lightning, they wanted an all black crew. And then they had an all black crew, thus they were hiring people that didn't have experience very good, who ended up either quitting or getting fired, and then they had to call people for availability, and a lot of shows were going on at a time. I get a phone call and they're like, hey, we need you to come do this. And then it started turning into a mixed show. Like there was just, every department was completely mixed instead of all black or all female or all male or whatever. And it became a better run show.
Yeah. You can't just hire based on color or gender. You can't do that.
But they do.
Because you're not gonna, because you're not gonna get the best people. Your point is you have to hire based on merit.
Yes.
And experience.
Yes.
I think that makes sense.
And I'm not trying to sound like a douchebag about the topic, but it upsets me so much when it's like,
yeah, you've definitely gotten calls where they were like, oh, well, we can't hire you because we need more women or more people of color. We can't take you.
Right. And it's like, that's so dumb.
Yeah.
I don't understand it.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I didn't mean to go on a tangent there, but.
Yeah, that's not really what my question was about. So, but that's okay.
Was it not?
No, I asked you why were people hating on it, and then I said, do you think it's because it was an all-female cast?
But that's essentially what I went into. Like, that's what.
No, you're talking about people getting hired on the movie. I'm talking about. You were talking about how Brie Larson wanted everybody to be hired to be a woman, but that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about men don't want to watch a movie, a superhero movie specifically, that doesn't have male superheroes in it. The only penises we had in this movie were
her husband.
It was the dad, it was the brother, and Samuel L. Jackson. Even the cat was a girl.
And then her singing husband.
Oh yeah, her singing husband. I forgot, but he was kind of, you know.
They got married on a technicality, apparently.
Yeah, because she's definitely a lesbian. I think she's like into, what's her name?
Valkyrie?
Yeah. I very much got the vibes that they were a thing. But yeah, anyways, so my point was, like, nope, men don't want to watch, especially like the hardcore superhero fans, they don't want to watch a female superhero cast, like all of them being, you know, there's only 4 men in the whole cast. That's not very many.
No.
And I think that people get used to things like Infinity War, you know, it's like a huge story, it's like epic and amazing, you know, and this was just like a fun little movie of them getting together and they all happen to be women. And people don't like that because they can't enjoy simple things. I don't understand why somebody would hate it before going to see it, you know, without, you know, taking it in for themselves.
But
I don't know.
This kind of goes back to what I was talking about, though. Like, but if it's good, who gives a shit?
Well, that's what I'm talking about.
I
It
know.
is a good movie, and it doesn't matter that it was a female cast.
That's what I'm saying, though. Like, if it's an
But you're talking about the people, though. Like, if the people are getting hired,
but
are they good
like,
or not?
it doesn't even, like, that's not what I'm saying. Like, I'm saying the same concept applies for what people are saying about it. Like, because if it's an all-female superhero movie, they don't want to see it because it's an all-female superhero movie. It's like, well, okay, have you seen it? It's good, and you can't hate on it because it's good. you're just hating on it because it's an all-female cast. Like, who cares?
Yeah. I see what you're saying. Like, you wouldn't care if, you know, you lost your job to a woman because they were a good AD,
Right.
essentially.
Right.
Like, they're better than you.
Right.
I gotcha.
And then I 100% be like, oh, this person can do this 1,000 times better than me. And if that person happens to be a woman or a black person or an Asian person, like, cool, go do that. Like, I don't want to be the one that fucks things up. And if you're better at this than I am, do it. All for it, because I'm here to make the thing better that we're working on.
That you just redeemed yourself there. I feel like people listening, I hope they make it all the way through to you saying that, because before you were like ranting and it sounded very misogynistic and a little bit racist, but now it like makes more sense. And I think it's just the way that you were framing your words.
I guess I don't know how to talk. I'm words, am I right?
It's okay. You redeemed yourself.
But I mean, I've done that so many times. Like Audrey, you know Audrey.
Mm-hmm.
Put her in base camp. I'm fucking awful at it. Not afraid to admit that. I'm fucking trash at base camp. Do all the paperwork. Do the fucking get the cast ready. I'm not awful at it, but I'm not as good as she is. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's like you have to find your place and like what best works for the show that you're doing.
Yeah.
But not to go on another tangent, but whatever.
Also be flexible.
Yes.
What did you think about all the flirkins?
I thought it was random and adorable.
I loved it. I think it was one of those things that just made it like a fun experience. You know?
It was just like, you know what? Let's do something cute and funny, and they went.
It doesn't have to be serious. It doesn't need to be in-game level.
Yeah.
Like, come on.
They definitely went for it, and
yeah,
and I thought it was great.
And now everybody can have a flirkin. There's plenty for everyone.
Oh my gosh, the idea of using the flirkins to move the crew was fucking hilarious. Like,
I whispered that to you, like in the movie. I was like, they're gonna use the flirkins.
And when Sam Jackson's over here, like, nope, we're gonna use the cats, and then you see Carol chasing cats, like, come here, kitty.
That was funny.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, so last thing. The mid-credit scene.
Oh my god.
Featuring...
Spoiler alert ahead.
Kelsey Grammer as the Beast, right?
From the X-Men. And what are the X-Men? Mutants.
Mm-hmm.
Which means Kevin Feige said, you know what? Fuck it. We're going to just put them in this movie and say, here are the X-Men. So, you know what's coming later. Like, I mean, to be fair, it was a weak entrance for, like, to say, hey, we're going to do the X-Men. But the fact...
But we know what's coming with Deadpool.
Do we know that? Oh, yeah, because of fucking Wolverine in it.
Yeah. And I mean, Loki let all of time and space go, so, like, all the timelines can do whatever they want now. And he's sitting there holding on to them.
That's true.
And...
But, like, hearing his voice and it was just, like, seeing how he looked, I was like, oh my god.
I honestly thought that they got... I was telling Zach this in the middle of the credits. I was like, I'm pretty sure we're going to just see Loki plug Monica Rambeau up out of where she's at now and put her back where she's supposed to go.
That would have been such a good, like, tie-in.
Yeah. But I mean, it's okay. I think I think the fact that, like, all of the timelines and realities and all that stuff, like with Spider-Man and Loki and now with the Marvels, all of that stuff is happening at the same time, you know? And
Right.
I think that it all really works. And especially we have Deadpool coming out, and I think that it's going to be, I think it's really going to work out. I think that they're doing it in a really good way, and I love that technically Monica's mom is the same hero in the other reality.
You know what I thought was going to happen is that when Loki, when the loom exploded and Loki exploded it himself, when all the threads of time kind of got like tangled, and you could just basically see a web of timelines. I thought what that was going to be is like a nod at the Spider-Verse for the live action. Because I want to say they're going to make a live action Miles movie. I want to say that. I'm not 100% sure. Let me...
I know that they'll do that because the way that they have it set up right now is that timeline, like the reality that Miles is in, like each reality has its own like texture and like animation style, and they brought one of them from like our reality, and he was like a real person. You know what I'm talking about? So I don't think they could make a live action.
But I think they're going to. I think they're bringing in Madam Web.
Oh, okay.
Madam Web. Who essentially does what Loki's doing currently. And she like has like a thread of web that like goes to a timeline for this Spider-Man kind of thing. I can't really find. I guess this is like the best. Like this is the best depiction I can find currently as of right now. Oh, they're okay. Apparently, they're using Dakota Johnson as possible casting for it.
That's cool.
She's blind, by the way, Madam Web. Like, this is essentially kind of what it looks like. Where she's got, like, all these web threads that, like, lead to their timelines.
It's hard for me to imagine Spider-Man or like any kind of Spider-Verse thing intersecting with Loki, you know?
Yeah, I mean, it just depends how they do it. I don't know. You know, in Feige we trust, as always.
Yep.
But, yeah, sorry about the rant. But, that's all I had for this episode of the Marvelous Nerdcast. Did you have anything? Do you have Do you have any Gregory words of wisdom?
No. Don't forget to share with your friends. Please follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok at Marvelous Nerdcast, and send in an email, marvelousnerdcast@gmail.com, and also join our Discord so you can watch us. We didn't have anybody in the audience today.
We didn't, but that's okay.
I did get an email from someone that was very helpful. Her name's Brianna. She was just emailing us to let us know that she couldn't hear us, or hear me specifically. So we're working on that. I hope it was better this time. And she also had a request. So we're going to work on that request, and hopefully whenever things are less crazy, we can do some research for you. But yeah, any other emails, just let us know.
Yes, please and thank you. Until next time, guys, we will talk to you again. We don't know when that will be. because our schedule is, of course, crazy. When we have a baby and a 7-year-old that are crazy in themselves. I don't know. What do we have anything coming out that we're gonna end up reviewing?
I can't think of anything right now. I was just trying to look that up, but I don't think there's anything coming up for a little bit. But we do have the holidays, so
True.
maybe if we do have something coming up, maybe we can post on Instagram and TikTok and let you guys know so that you can join the Discord so that you have time to prepare.
Yes, very much. All right, guys. Until next time, we will see you again. Thank you for joining in. Bye.
You have been graced by the presence of the Marvelous Nerdcast. Tune in next time, and don't forget to subscribe.